Stop for a moment. Feel the weight of the silence around you. Right now, in this very instant, life is speaking directly to you, subtle whispers that often go unnoticed. Today, I invite you to step beyond the noise, beyond the endless scrolling, and awaken to the present moment where truth quietly waits. Few realize that our minds are rarely still. We rush through life, chasing distractions, while the universe quietly sends signs meant only for those who truly listen. Shaolin masters have known this for centuries. In the heart of their practice lies a secret. Stillness is not emptiness. It is the space where clarity, wisdom, and guidance converge. By pausing, by breathing with awareness, we begin to perceive life's subtle currents, the messages woven into each moment. In this video, you will learn the art of mindful presence, how to recognize signals that most overlook, and the Shaolin methods of centering your mind and body. You will discover techniques to quiet the chaos within, to feel the energy of your surroundings, and to awaken a deeper sense of purpose. There are ancient truths, hidden in rituals and practices long preserved, that can transform the way you respond to life's challenges. By the end of this journey, you will see that every moment carries meaning, every pause holds power, and every breath can align you with forces beyond comprehension. These teachings are not just philosophy. They are living tools for those ready to listen, ready to act with awareness. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where the flame of discipline meets the spark of awakening. If your soul feels called, subscribe now and join us as we uncover wisdom that has guided warriors, sages, and chosen ones through centuries. The path to clarity begins with a single mindful breath, and it begins now. There is a voice that never shouts, yet it speaks louder than the chaos of the world. This voice belongs not to men, but to the divine currents that move through all things: God, the universe, higher consciousness. It does not arrive with thunder or spectacle. Instead, it whispers, nudges, and waits for the one who is still enough to hear. In the quiet of a forest, or the silence of a single breath, the world opens in ways that rushing feet and restless minds can never perceive. Shaolin masters have always understood this. Strength begins not in motion alone, but in the stillness where the mind becomes a mirror. Through silence, the subtle movements of life, the hidden patterns and guidance, reveal themselves. Listening inwardly becomes a practice of aligning with truth itself. Distraction is the enemy of clarity. Each unneeded thought, each flicker of digital noise, each clinging to past regrets or future worries dulls the senses and numbs the soul. The world teaches speed, but the soul thrives in presence. When the mind is occupied, the whispers of guidance pass unnoticed, and opportunity, insight, and understanding fade like mist at dawn. Learning to listen is learning to be patient with oneself, to watch the mind without judgment, and to honor the quiet space between each heartbeat. In this space, the universe begins to speak in patterns you can feel, not always in words, revealing paths unseen, choices unconsidered, and truths often overlooked. Even for those steeped in movement and action, the practice of silence is a gateway, a key to the hidden chambers of wisdom where clarity, purpose, and courage quietly reside. To sit, to breathe, to listen deeply is not weakness, it is mastery in its purest form. Discipline is the quiet forge where strength is tempered, unseen by those who chase only immediate reward. In the Shaolin tradition, mastery begins with the body, the mind, and the breath. Three pillars that, when trained with patience, reveal the deeper currents of life. Each stance held, each breath counted, each thought observed is a brick laid in the foundation of inner power. A warrior of the spirit knows that discipline is not punishment, nor is it rigid control. It is the alignment of energy, attention, and purpose. By training the body to obey, the mind to focus, and the breath to flow steadily, one begins to cultivate a presence that cannot be shaken. The simplest acts, repeated consistently, become vessels for transformation. A daily routine, a mindful movement, a conscious pause, all small, seemingly ordinary practices, build a readiness to receive greater insight, to act decisively when life calls. Through discipline, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Hunger, fatigue, and distraction are no longer obstacles, but teachers guiding the practitioner toward resilience. The mind learns to settle like water in a still pond, reflecting reality without distortion. The body becomes a temple of energy, capable of enduring strain and channeling power. The breath becomes a bridge between the seen and unseen, carrying awareness into every corner of being. In this quiet, methodical cultivation, spiritual awareness begins to rise. One notices patterns previously unseen, choices once invisible, and the subtle guidance that moves through life with quiet precision. The disciplined soul stands ready, not by chance, but by choice, prepared to act when the moment of higher purpose arrives. Every small effort, every moment of attention, accumulates like sunlight, eventually illuminating the path forward with clarity and strength. Discipline is the gateway, but mastery is the journey beyond. A journey paved not in grand gestures, but in the steady, unwavering commitment to align body, mind, and spirit with the currents of life itself. Emotions rise like storms across the surface of the mind, sudden and powerful, threatening to sweep away clarity if left unchecked. Shaolin teachings guide us to witness these storms without being carried by them, to observe anger, fear, and doubt as passing clouds rather than commands that must be obeyed. In this observation lies the seed of freedom, the ability to act from awareness rather than reaction. When fear grips the body, it narrows perception. When anger flares, it distorts judgment. Doubt clouds vision and stillness alike. Yet by watching these feelings without surrendering, the practitioner creates space where truth can enter. In that quiet space, divine signals, subtle guidance, and inner wisdom are no longer muffled. The mind becomes a clear lake, reflecting reality without distortion, able to perceive patterns and opportunities hidden beneath the surface of chaos. Mindfulness becomes the bridge to this mastery. Simple practices, returning attention to the breath, scanning the body for tension, labeling thoughts without attachment, train the mind to witness without being swept away. Even a single breath held with awareness in the midst of anger or fear can shift the course of a reaction, turning instinct into conscious choice. Over time, small moments of mindful presence accumulate, and emotional turbulence loses its grip. This is not suppression, nor is it denial. It is alignment, the harmonization of mind, body, and spirit. Shaolin masters have long understood that inner mastery is revealed not in the absence of emotion, but in the ability to move through life's currents with calm observation. By learning to watch without reacting, the practitioner gains clarity, strength, and the subtle sensitivity to hear whispers of guidance that are easily drowned in the noise of uncontrolled emotion. True mastery is quiet. It is the stillness behind the storm, the calm eye that sees all without fear or attachment. The body is a vessel of energy, and the breath is its guiding river. In Shaolin practice, movement and breathing are inseparable, each flowing into the other like water and wind. When the breath is steady, the body aligns naturally. When the body moves with awareness, the mind settles. This harmony between breath, movement, and thought is the gateway to clarity, revealing truths that words alone cannot convey. Shaolin masters teach that even the simplest motion, a slow step, a deliberate stretch, a controlled stance, can become a meditation. Breathing deeply, drawing energy into the core, and releasing it with intention transforms the ordinary act of movement into a conduit for inner balance. Each inhalation grounds awareness, each exhalation releases tension, and with every motion, the mind learns to mirror the steadiness of the body. Physical alignment is more than posture. It is a reflection of inner order. When the spine is straight, the chest open, and the feet grounded, the mind becomes equally aligned, free from the distortions of distraction and imbalance. The energy within flows unblocked, connecting heart, mind, and spirit, creating a quiet awareness that resonates beyond the physical. Through these exercises, the breath becomes more than oxygen. It becomes life energy, a subtle current that links the self to the greater rhythm of existence. Movement, practiced mindfully, transforms into a language of presence, a dialogue between body and consciousness. Over time, This practice sharpens perception, enhances decision-making, and attunes the practitioner to signals often missed, the gentle whispers of intuition, the subtle guidance that flows when the mind is calm and the body aligned. Clarity is born not only in stillness, but in motion, when breath and body move as one. It is here, in the delicate balance of energy and awareness, that true insight arises, and the practitioner learns to navigate life with a calm precision, a presence that is both rooted and free. Life reflects back to us in ways both subtle and striking. Every encounter, every obstacle, every unexpected turn acts as a mirror, revealing where attention falters, where energy is scattered, and where the mind clings to illusions. Shaolin teachings remind us that these reflections are not punishments, but lessons, opportunities to observe ourselves and refine our inner alignment. Challenges arrive like storms, unsettling the surface of our lives. The instinct is often to resist, to blame, or to escape. Yet in the Shaolin way, resistance is replaced by reflection. By pausing and observing, the practitioner learns to see the hidden patterns behind events, to discern where fear, attachment, or distraction has guided choices. In this mirror, life shows not only the errors of the mind but also the strength of the spirit, the clarity that can emerge when one meets reality without denial. Self-reflection becomes a disciplined practice, an art of watching oneself without judgment. Just as a master observes a student's stance and breath, the mind can observe its own thoughts and impulses. Each moment of awareness adds a brushstroke to the canvas of understanding, revealing the habits, tendencies, and blind spots that shape experience. Over time, this clarity strengthens discernment, helping one to act from insight rather than habit, to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. In this way, life's mirrors are allies, not enemies. Each difficulty, each discomfort, each moment of doubt is a teacher guiding the practitioner inward toward balance, presence, and deeper mastery. The Shaolin path is not about escaping the reflection, but embracing it, learning to stand steady and see clearly, and to align every action and thought with the truth revealed in the silent reflection of one's own life. Through disciplined introspection, the ordinary becomes a guide, and the everyday becomes a path to awakening, showing that mastery begins with the courage to look honestly at oneself. The unknown waits beyond the edges of comfort, silent yet alive with possibility. Life often calls us toward paths we cannot see, whispering through circumstance, intuition, and subtle signs. Shaolin wisdom teaches that courage is not the absence of fear, but the presence of awareness, the ability to move forward while uncertainty surrounds the steps. To embrace the unknown is to trust the currents of life, to step without knowing the full shape of the path, and to remain steady amid the shifting tides. Divine guidance rarely arrives in comfort. It nudges, it challenges, it draws attention to what must be faced and what must be released. The moment a call emerges to change, to act, to stand, is often accompanied by fear. This fear is natural. It signals that the ego and the old patterns are being tested. Yet Shaolin teachings remind us that fear is a teacher, not a jailer. To acknowledge it without obeying it is to claim mastery over the self. It is in these moments when the mind quivers, yet the spirit remains poised, that true growth emerges. Each step into uncertainty becomes a practice of alignment, body steady, breath deep, mind clear. The courageous do not abandon caution, but neither are they paralyzed by it. They learn to distinguish between wisdom and hesitation, between instinctive retreat and the call of higher purpose. In this disciplined facing of the unknown, the heart expands, the mind sharpens, and the soul gains the resilience necessary to perceive guidance that is often invisible to those who cling to familiarity. Courage is a bridge between what is and what could be, a principle woven through centuries of Shaolin practice. By embracing the unknown with trust, the practitioner discovers that fear need not dictate action, and that the divine often waits on the other side of hesitation, a quiet presence guiding every step into life's deeper truths. Awareness without action is like a lamp unlit. Its potential remains unseen. Shaolin philosophy teaches that the mind and body must move together with purpose, and that discipline alone, while powerful, finds its true strength only when paired with intentional action. To walk the path of mastery is not simply to observe, but to act in alignment with the inner guidance that emerges through stillness and reflection. Every choice, no matter how small, carries the imprint of purpose. A simple gesture of kindness, a disciplined practice maintained each day, a decision made with clarity rather than habit. Each is an act that aligns the outer world with the inner self. Shaolin masters often remind students that the smallest alignment, repeated consistently, becomes a river, shaping the landscape of destiny over time. The ripple effect of mindful action can extend far beyond what the eye can see, touching circumstances, relationships, and opportunities in ways unseen but deeply felt. Living with alignment requires constant presence. Awareness of one's thoughts, intentions, and movements ensures that actions do not drift into distraction or ego-driven habit. Discipline becomes the anchor, awareness the compass, and action the vessel that carries the spirit forward. When intention flows through action, life begins to respond in kind. Challenges become lessons, obstacles transform into openings, and the subtle guidance that whispers through each moment becomes easier to recognize and follow. Purpose is not a distant goal. It is expressed in each choice made with mindfulness and integrity. The Shaolin path teaches that mastery is not only cultivated in meditation halls or training grounds, but in every moment where thought, intention, and deed are united. In this way, even the smallest acts, when aligned with higher purpose, accumulate like careful brushstrokes on the canvas of life, gradually revealing the greater design of destiny and the quiet power of living with conscious mastery. Gratitude is the quiet pulse that connects the heart to the flow of life. In the stillness of awareness, the simplest blessings, the warmth of sunlight, the steady rhythm of breath, the presence of life itself, reveal themselves as threads in a vast, intricate tapestry. Shaolin teachings honor this practice, showing that when the mind rests in acknowledgement, when attention lingers on what is already given, the soul becomes grounded and the spirit more receptive. Presence and gratitude are inseparable. To truly appreciate is to be fully here, not lost in memory or anticipation. Each moment recognized with awareness becomes a portal to deeper understanding. The mind that lingers in thankfulness sharpens its perception. It begins to notice the subtleties of life, the patterns that were once invisible, and the gentle nudges of guidance that flow quietly through the fabric of existence. Gratitude is not merely an emotion, but a discipline, a deliberate turning of attention toward what sustains, strengthens, and illuminates. When the heart opens to appreciation, the channels of spiritual receptivity expand. The noise of worry and distraction fades, leaving space for clarity, insight, and the subtle voice of the divine to be heard. Shaolin masters have long taught that a warrior's strength is not measured only in physical skill or mental sharpness, but in the calm, grounded presence that allows one to perceive truth with precision. Gratitude cultivates this presence, anchoring the practitioner in both humility and awareness, and fostering the ability to respond to life with wisdom rather than reflex. By practicing mindful appreciation each day, even in small acts, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. Every breath, every gesture, every encounter becomes an opportunity to tune into the deeper rhythms of life. Through gratitude and presence, the practitioner discovers that the voice of guidance is always there, soft, steady, and unmistakable, waiting for a heart attuned to receive it. Within each of us lies a warrior, not of steel but of spirit, a Shaolin warrior whose strength is measured not by force but by mastery over self. This mastery is born in stillness, cultivated through discipline, tempered by courage, and sharpened by clarity. It is a path walked quietly, yet its impact resonates deeply, shaping every thought, every choice, and every action. The inner warrior rises when the mind is calm, the body aligned, and the heart attuned to the subtle currents of life. To awaken this warrior is to step fully into responsibility for one's own growth. The chosen ones are not defined by titles or recognition, but by readiness, those willing to pause, to listen, and to act with awareness. They understand that true transformation begins within, that the whispers of guidance require attention and courage to follow. Each challenge, each moment of fear or uncertainty becomes a test of resolve, an opportunity to practice mastery, and a doorway into deeper wisdom. This awakening is not sudden, nor is it distant. It begins in the present moment, a breath taken with awareness, a movement made with intention, a thought observed without attachment. These small, deliberate acts accumulate, forming the foundation of strength that is steady yet flexible, quiet yet potent. Through continued practice, the practitioner becomes a living embodiment of balance, clarity, and inner power, a presence capable of perceiving the subtle signals that guide destiny. The path of the Shaolin warrior is not solitary, it is an invitation. Life offers this moment as a call to awaken, to recognize the potential that has always been within, and to act in alignment with purpose. Those who answer move beyond mere survival and habit, stepping into a life of conscious mastery, unwavering presence, and quiet, transformative strength. The inner warrior is ready. It waits only for the courage to awaken. Life's messages are always present, quietly guiding those who pause to notice. By embracing stillness, cultivating discipline, mastering your emotions, and moving through life with mindful presence, you create the clarity and strength needed to hear these subtle signals. Each small act of awareness, each conscious choice, brings you closer to your higher purpose and deeper self-mastery. Remember, the path of awakening is not about perfection, but about consistent practice. Take these principles into your daily life. Breathe with intention, observe without judgment, act with purpose, and align your actions with the wisdom within. Even the smallest steps, taken with attention and care, ripple outward, transforming your inner world and the life you lead. Let this moment serve as a gentle reminder. You are capable of listening, understanding, and acting with clarity. Life is speaking. All you need is to pause, reflect, and respond with courage. Thank you for joining us on this journey of awareness and mastery. If this message resonates, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire and continue walking the path of discipline, insight, and inner strength. Let each breath, each moment, guide you closer to the quiet power that has always been within.